Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is a review of Pellucidar Across Savage Seas #4 from American Mythology. So this is part of their Edgar Rice Burroughs line of comics, and Edgar Rice Burroughs is, of course, the creator of Tarzan and John Carter, and they put out some comics of his lesser-known works, and this is the final issue in a 4-issue miniseries, and this stars Gretchen von Harben, who is the mother of Victory Harben, a new character that is in the current novels being put out by Edgar S. Burroughs Incorporated, and also in the Beyond the Further Star Warriors of Xandar miniseries that also just wrapped up this week. So let's take a look at this cover. And so this is by interior artist Mariana Puglia, and I gotta say, this is probably my favorite thing that she's ever done. I love this cover to death. It is amazing. So, I mean, not only is there just a ton of detail in the background and the water and the cave, this great rendering of all of these characters, just very dynamic action here. And the creature here, the kind of octopus-like creature, it's just really well rendered, and it's just so unique. I mean, I just don't see, a lot of people fighting octopuses in Burroughs stuff. So, I mean, it's just so cool. The coloring is a little bit dark. I wouldn't have minded a little bit more pop in the coloring just to bring out all this gorgeous line work. But overall, it is just a really, really great cover that really grabs your attention and really just demands that you find out what this issue's about. The interior artwork is also quite good. I love the color. I love all the rendering, the line work, the storytelling. There's a lot of plot twists in here. And so there's not a lot I can show you that's not going to spoil stuff. So I'm just going to keep it the first couple pages. But you get the idea. This is just really fantastic storytelling and rendering in comic book form. So the premise of the miniseries is that young Gretchen von Harben right here, she's invited to take a trip to Pellucidar at the Earth's core, which is this prehistoric land filled with dinosaurs and monsters, with Jason Gridley. And of course, they're on an airship, so things go horribly wrong. She falls out of the airship. Meanwhile, the airship itself is damaged and just floats out to sea. And so she ends up on this island and gets mixed up with some of the natives there, some of which aren't human. And adventure happens, a lot of mistakes happen, and there's a lot of really fun plot twists. And ultimately, this is how Gretchen meets her husband, this dude right here, who is Victory Harben's dad. And it's a really, really wonderful story. And so this issue is one of Mike Wolfer's final scripts for American Mythology. He wrote the Burroughs titles, but he was also editor, did design work. And so the conclusion we get here is very conclusive, right? This is very satisfying ending, and there really doesn't need to be other miniseries following Gretchen, but there are definitely hints that her and her husband have further adventures, and it would make sense if there were. I don't know if they have any intention of doing that, but if they're not, you get the story that you bought this for, right? You get to find out how she met him. However, one of the intriguing things about this issue is that the miniseries evolves around Gretchen, right? But they hint that the crew on that airship had adventures of their own that we didn't get to see. So I don't know. I mean, that would make an intriguing comic book, but I sort of wonder, what it feels like is that it's hinting at like a bigger novel that this is a part of. And I don't know if that's just brain candy, but it also wouldn't surprise me if maybe they didn't make this into a novel. It's co-written by Christopher Paul Carey and is actually based on an idea he had for a novel about a broken airship that just, floats out over the seas of Pellucidar and explores, unexplored places in Pellucidar. And so it wouldn't surprise me if at some point maybe this was a novel, right? They basically kind of retell Gretchen's part of it, but also get into the wider story of what happened with the airship as well. All that is just speculation. What I can tell you is that this miniseries does lead into the Victory Harben appearances that are happening in the novels being put out by Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated, and that soon Victory Harbin will have her own novel called Victory Harbin and the Fires of Halos. And Victory Harbin is also appearing, or has appeared, in Beyond a Furthest Star, Warriors of Xandar, that just wrapped up. My impression, since this comic ends with a plug for Victory Harbin's novel, and the Warriors of Xandar miniseries did not, is that probably Warriors of Xandar was meant to start a series of Beyond a Furthest Star miniseries with Victory Harbin, and so I don't know if those will continue or not. And this miniseries also ties into the next Jane Porter graphic novel that's coming out from Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated. There'll be a Kickstarter for it at some point, and it's going to be written by Mike Wolfer, and it's going to be drawn by Mariana Puglia, so it's a follow-up to Across Savage Seas in the best sense of the term, and you'll definitely see some familiar faces and things in this cover. Puglia also got to do the cover for the mass market edition of the first Jane Porter one-shot, which is currently available on edgarriceburroughs.com, and this issue is done by Mike Wolfer and Roy Allen Martinez. So overall, yes, absolute highest recommendation for this miniseries, and yes, going forward, there is a lot of uncertainty since Mike Wolfer has left American Mythology, but we still do have 2 issues of Monster Men left from him, so looking forward to that. And then after that, I don't know what's next for the Burroughs line in American Mythology. I hope it continues. I hope we can continue to get good comics from them, but if not, it is nice to know that Mike Wolfer and a lot of those same artists will continue to put out comics for Edgar Rice Burroughs Incorporated that we can still get and enjoy. All right, that's it. Like and subscribe for more videos, and until next time, see ya.